Now we're recording. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Connie Joe.
No.
Connie Joe looks worried. Don't be worried.
I'm still asleep. I'm sorry. Worried that I'm not really awake.
Not quite awake yet. Well,
I think when the dog's down to you and at 6 a.m. they can jump on your face and start biting your nose. That's how I wake up every morning.
That's funny.
Delightful.
My Emma gets me up. She's been getting me up very early this week. So, as I said in the book club, for those of you in the book club, I'm like, I'm thankful for my dog. Even though she wakes me up early.
Do any of you watch Orange is the New Black?
No,
I haven't.
My husband watches it.
My daughter and I finished it last night.
Did it have its final season?
Like at 1:30 in the morning, yes. It was so sad.
No wonder you're tired.
It was so sad. It was good.
It was good though, good.
Yeah, but yeah, it got very, very political. I mean, it always kind of was, but it really got.
Like we're ending, so we're going for it.
Yeah, right. Over. We have 2 minutes to put that information in before it's done.
Exactly. Speaking of putting information in, make sure you do the chat box. Chat box honors. Where is everybody today? Come on, everybody.
Must have scared them off.
They must know. They probably are all watching Netflix till 1:30, like Connie Joe. Here comes Judy. Hi, Judy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Everybody's like in the blue and white kind of thing, Dave. I didn't get that. Well, I got white, I guess. Got the white.
Yeah.
I'm the outlier in my brown, but it goes with
Nautical.
Nautical. We're all little
Naughty.
sailors. Cute. We're so cute, aren't we? I know Tracy's not going to be here because she has another meeting, so Tracy's going to catch the replay. Here comes Kelly Lutman. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And I know Nancy will be here, so let's just wait another minute or two before we start a meeting. While I have you, where's my Hannah? Oh, I'll wait till she comes. I think she's
Down below.
Oh, there she is. I didn't see you. I had to scroll. I'm like, where's my Hannah? I want to do a shout out to Hannah. Hannah has helped us create graphics for our open house, and they're so cute. All the think lollipops, and I'll just leave it at that. Well, your interest. So I will be. I'll be sharing all of that. I have the last week in August. I don't do coaching calls, so that's where I do a lot of content creation. So that's the week I'll be sending you all stuff. I'm putting in the Facebook group. Susan and I have been working on the agenda, and it's coming together really nicely. So, so we're excited about that. Laura Shipman will be joining us as well. So those who haven't seen Laura in a while, she'll be there to bring us good tidings. So who have we got? We got Susan's here, Mary Beth's here, and Debbie and Fergus. Yay! I knew she had Fergus there because she's our hand. That pet. Like my dog is here. I'm trying to settle him. I have something like that too. So make sure you do the chat box this morning. And pets are welcome because Susan's got, I don't know which one. I never know which one's which.
Fiona's got the stubbier face.
Oh, hello. Good morning, Fiona. So we'll go ahead and get started. Do you want to do, what should we do? We all kind of know each other. Let's see. Last week we did ideal clients. I know.
And there we go. This is my sister. She's lurking today.
Hi. What's your sister's name?
Janet Sansalone. We're down at her house.
Oh, very nice. Nice to see you, Janice. Come in and lurk anytime. So we're going to let's do our favorite vacation. Be brief.
That we're going to have.
Whatever you like. It's your time. I'll give you all a moment to think. Favorite vacation. Keep it brief. Ready, set, Susan Rose.
Scuba Club Cozumel during the swine flu epidemic. Best vacation ever.
Hope we didn't get the swine flu.
We didn't. We got a really good price.
You can't leave that one short. You got to do
ships in Cozumel. It was fantastic.
That's awesome. That's not what I was expecting to hear at all. See, this is why we ask these silly questions. All right, good. All right, my favorite vacation ever. was when my boys, including my husband, and I went to Helen, Georgia. And the highlight of the trip was when we went tubing down the Hooch, which is the Chattahoochee River, and I lost my shoes, which was not fun. But we found them later on a rock. So there you go. Margaret, you're next.
Okay, favorite vacation ever has to be in a quaint little village outside of Siena in Italy with, I went with a very dear friend and met up with 9 other people that I did not know. And we rented a villa and we had a fabulous week there. It was just, we had so much fun. We went out and adventured every day, but it was a great time. And I got to perform a wedding at the end of the week. So that was really cool.
That sounds lovely. I love that. I love when you had people there you didn't know and it turned out great. That's awesome. All right, Jennifer, you're next.
Morning. I don't actually take a lot of vacations. I've been lucky to live in places where people vacation, which has been really fun. But my honeymoon 100 years ago was a blast. And we went around, my husband's from Germany, so we went over there for a couple of weeks. And I said a couple of weeks because that was the last time I took like 2 solid weeks off.
Wow.
We did a journal and we read it like 5 years ago when we moved. And that was like the thing that stood out for me. I'm like, what would you do with 2 weeks off? I don't know if you get bored after a week but we drove the entire circumference of Germany and went to the ocean up on top and all the way down to Munich and went to the Porsche Museum, and it was just a lot of fun and relaxing. And, it takes you a little while to relax from being off of work,
Yeah.
It's really lovely. If you haven't been to Germany, go in the summer.
Well, that sounds like fun, and I think you're due for another 2-weeker. Just saying.
I know. It kind of makes me twitch when I don't know.
About it. Yeah, I know you could fly back and forth from Colorado, so it feels like vacations when you're doing it.
Yes. And we're going for a week at the beginning of September. And, we always make a point to go somewhere we haven't gone, but that gets farther and farther away. So,
yeah.
All
right. Germany it is.
That's right.
Connie Joe.
My favorite, they're vacations, but it's going to Disney with my kids.
Oh,
those are just, they're exhausting, but they're so much fun, and just see
they are fun
through their eyes, especially when they were really little.
Yes.
I went once with Debbie. We met up there one time with her boys.
They were
tiny. Yeah.
How fun. You guys should do it again.
Yeah.
Bring Cooper and Jack and kids, Tommy, and they'll just go.
That would be fun.
Stroller.
I can meet you there. Us Floridians can meet you there.
Yeah.
All right, Judy Kane.
I'm terrible at favorite, best, worst, least. I'm like, well, if it's this or if it's that. So every trip I ever took to Europe was probably best in different ways. Every summer when until the kids were not too long ago, we would go to the Nags Head area, the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and do a week, and that was always fabulous. But this last trip to Alaska was really kind of different, where I totally lost track of time. I don't think that's ever happened before. It was just very interesting to be gone that long and not really know what day of the week it was.
Look at the Vegas effect.
For different reasons.
You lost in the casino. Although I've only known you for a year, I'm like, I hope Judy says Alaska.
Yeah, fabulous scenery and just the whole being away and losing track of time was remarkable.
And he got to hang out with Esther Hicks. Hello. Extra bonus. Very cool. Now, Kelly, I can't. You've traveled so much. All right, Kelly, you've lived in so many places.
Meeny miny. Like Jen says, you've lived a lot of places that people travel to. So we lived in Germany and we did things every weekend. So
wouldn't go for that. I think I would have to say Alaska also. It was between Alaska and Hawaii. Just the environment and the feeling like you're in a different country, but they use the same money and speak the same language.
That's a good point.
And my husband loves eagles, and he was just beside himself with all the eagles we saw. One of the things that really hit me was we were on a cruise, and one of the stops, he made a comment about the eagles, and one of the locals said, "Oh, they're such a pain because they're scavengers, and so the locals have to guard their garbage and keep everything picked up because the eagles will get into it." And we were kind of taken aback by that, but when we were coming back, they were still out in their yard, and they spotted us and came over and said, "We want to apologize.
Aw.
We, in the midst of everyday life, have lost sight of the wonder of what we live in the midst of. And we apologize for dampening that for you." And I just really was touched by that, with recognizing the reality of life, but, still looking at the wonder of all that you saw, whales and eagles and bears and interesting things, but I really appreciated their attitude, their change.
That's a cool story. Thank you, Kelly.
Mhm.
All right. Hannah. Ooh, where's Hannah been?
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
I have two different favorite vacations. Can I say both?
Yep, absolutely.
I will be very quick. One, Italy painting course, 2 weeks. Two, walking in the Norwegian mountains.
Oh, I'm having some vacation envy right now. Yes.
If people don't follow her, like on Instagram, I know you guys all follow her on Facegram. Facegram.
Which one's becoming?
See? Yeah, just convert them. How do you live in like this amazing place? It's like you're on vacation every day. It's absolutely gorgeous. You're very lucky.
Thank you.
Gave my 2 cents there.
Ringo visit Norway. All right, Susan, at the river. Are you in the river, right? The river.
Yep, we're down at the river this weekend, and it's a lot of stuff going on down here. And I would say that that's like a vacation for me, except I still have to clean the house and dust and all that. So, we've been doing a lot of mini vacations for a while, train rides. We both have trains and stuff like that. Just enjoying long weekends. So I've had a lot of those fun experiences. Alaska is actually on my bucket list, but I have to say my all-out favorite vacation was actually with my sister a year and a half ago when we went to Ireland.
Oh.
It was an all-expenses-paid trip that my sister had earned through her business. Her husband didn't want to make the flight, so she turned to me and she said, "Do you want to go?" And like that, I said yes.
Twist your arm.
Yes, and we got the opportunity to stay in one area of Ireland. I was Fergus on Newport, or anyway, near the what was it? Near at the Dromoland Castle for a couple of nights, and then they took us down to Killarney, and just seeing the countryside. And our heritage is more Irish than anything else. So it was really a wonderful, wonderful experience. Something I really like. The next place, I really like that Italy trip with the painting, though. Great ideas. So.
We're all getting our vacation ideas. I love it.
Oh, yeah, this is really good.
All right, Mary Beth, I'm asking you before probably what will be one of your favorite vacations. I know you're going away in a couple weeks, but go ahead and give it to us what you got today.
Okay, well, I was going for funniest. So I have the funniest memory with my first husband and kids. And thinking I'm going to Atlantic City, Maryland, and on just like a day before, I realized we're going to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I made the stuff. So, Yeah, it was really cool. We ended up with a ferry, saw horseshoe crabs, which is always exciting to the kids, and then we're at a lovely beach. We had a great time, but it's like, how do you do that? How do you end up in a different state and you don't know it? But that was back in the old days, right? So my other favorite was Australia because just like Kelly, like you were saying, big old cockatoos. I mean, big old cockatoos coming in. They say, don't keep your sliding glass doors open. They'll come in and they'll open your little fridges and they'll clean you out. They will come right in. Talk about scavenging. Those guys are good. So, and then I met a kangaroo in the bathroom, and that was funny. So that's me.
I've heard the kangaroo story. It is funny.
You have, yeah.
And knowing you, Mary Beth, what did he say?
Well, I think it was a she. We were in the women's bathroom. And she was totally embarrassed. You've heard this story before, some of you. She was chewing on a roll of toilet paper and like a piece of gum, and she was like, "Oh, I'm caught. I'm in trouble." So she left when I told her I wasn't interested in having any encounter other than a hello.
I'm going to the restroom now.
All right.
Oh, I love it. Mary Beth, as an idea, you should have a tour with the animal communicator. Like, go some exotic location, and you could tell us what the animals are saying. Who would go for that? I would totally. Just even a zoo. A destination tour with Mary Beth. Oh, that would be
fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. All right. Debbie Keevan, who travels so much.
I'm with Judy Kane. This is like asking me to pick my favorite child. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'll tell you about the one that changed my perspective the most. It was back in December of 1993 at the end of the Lebanese Civil War. I had the privilege of vacationing in Lebanon and Syria. And it was absolutely one of the most beautiful experiences and heartbreaking experiences. I realized then that we only in America see this much, what we see through the eyes of a television reporter, and it's such a small, and it's very slanted. And my experience was just absolutely incredible, but it made me appreciate electricity, because we had electricity for 4 hours a day. And when I say there was no stoplights, basically, and so when I travel now and I drive in like New York City, I'm like, bleep you, I've driven in Lebanon where a best woman for herself, like, just go, if you hesitate, you're done. So it was a beautiful country, beautiful food, beautiful people. And it really just opened my eyes to being curious and questioning more. So
very cool. Oh my goodness. All right, Nancy. Your favorite?
Oh, come on. I can't follow that.
Yes, you can.
I'm going way back to the first summer after my first year of law school. And I don't know if it counts as a vacation. It was my summer vacation. I was working in London at a law firm there, just, an intern, like, not really working. But I had a friend from high school who was working as a contractor, an engineer near a base, a U.S. base there in the English countryside. And he had bought himself one of those James Bond cars. I can't remember, Lotus, I think it was called. And I'd hop on the train, go out and meet him in the countryside, and we'd just go all over to these castles, these little towns and villages. And I loved England, and I was just such an Anglophile. Yeah, I was a lawyer for 9 years in Chicago. I got over it, though. Really, I did. And so, but that, it was no romance. It was just simply a friend, going all over, and it was so easy. I've had wonderful, wonderful vacations since then with my family, but it's a different kind of like being responsible. That was totally irresponsible.
That's what's so fun about it. Absolutely. Oh, that was fun, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Everybody added to their bucket list an item or two. Love it. All right. I forgot. Who has Margaret's bio? I forgot to look. Who's the person with the honors? Is it me? Well, Margaret, I apologize for being tacky. Hold on a second. I should have been looking this up. Speaker files. Thank you, Debbie Keevan, for organizing our drive for us. So let me introduce Margaret, and then Margaret's going to take it from there. So I'm going to read this. I'm just going to give you guys the half version. So Margaret Martin, our lovely Margaret Martin, helps women believe in themselves, again, one thought at a time, so they can step into their power and do the work they were meant to do in this world. Using the processes in her book, The Chatter That Matters, Your Words Are Your Power, she guides women through reframing the negative self-talk to words that are positive and encouraging, setting boundaries to protect themselves from the negativity of others, owning their power one thought at a time. Margaret works with women in workshops and coaching to step into their power with grace so they can or will truly believe in themselves and do the work they were meant to do, one thought at a time. She provides keynote presentations and facilitates book discussions with companies, organizations, and small groups. So, Margaret, take it away.
Alrighty, thank you. I have slides to share. So
all right.
Let me get, and before I do that, I'd like to see just a show of hands as who experiences any negative mind chatter? That's what I thought. So no matter whether you wrote the book, you do the work, you know, we all still have it, right? So let's see, here we go. Okie doke. So today we're going to be working on the looking at what those thoughts are, and let's look and think about transforming those. But in the meantime, you know, you have the power to choose your thoughts. And if you look at it that each thought is an investment, then it's a different perspective. So the point today is to help you learn to invest in your thoughts wisely. So we're going to look at a easy four-step process in looking and changing that negative mind chatter. So this is interactive, so unmute when you want and share. How many thoughts do you have per day on average, do you think?
40,000.
1 million.
I was going to guess 40 million.
Not quite 40
Million.
million.
A million.
It has, the statistics show and the research shows that it ranges anywhere from 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And, you know, that again is on the perspective of the individual. So if we use the idea of 60,000 thoughts per day, that's one thought per second on average, depending on what your waking day is, because I was doing the numbers and I thought, you know, we're just going to use this as an average. But think about that, one thought per second. So 95% of those thoughts are the same thought you've been thinking yesterday, the day before, last week, last year. That's pretty scary, isn't it? To think that we stay in that thought process. So from there, how many of those thoughts do you think are negative? What percentage? Come on, jump in.
Half.
Is way too
half.
many.
I would say 50%.
I was going to say higher than that for most people, I would think, like 80%.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's higher than that. It's about 57,000 thoughts.
Wow. Wow.
So, oh, sorry, that was 57,000 of your repetitive thoughts. So the percentage of thoughts that are negative is 80%.
Hmm.
So where do we spend a lot of time? we're you know, we need to be aware that that's 45,000 approximately 600 thoughts that you're having each day that's negative. And this is, you know, average statistics. And I know I'm singing with the choir here that not all of us do that, and various ones of us have techniques to rein that in. But in the meantime, the important part of that is being aware. So if you're investing one thought for every positive thought and subtracting one thought, so if we put a dollar amount on it and it's one per negative thought, using the average of 60,000, we end up with 14,400 positive thoughts in a day. Is that a good investment? Would you want to invest in your thought process a little better? I use this graphic to not only remind us of the words that we use with our children, but if you put your face where that child's face is, and look at the fact of what you're doing to yourself, and I have to do this for myself as well, so, and think about how we're holding ourselves back with some of the negative thoughts that we have. So our first step is the awareness. Now you're aware. And I love the phrase, once you're aware, you're no longer unaware. So that now I've created a little, maybe tiny monster that thinks, okay, I've got to pay attention here. So one of the things I want you to do, I hope you I forgot to tell you to bring a pad and pencil, but hopefully you have, or you can grab one quick. Think about the negative thoughts that recur more frequently, anywhere from 3 to 5, if you can think of them right quickly. For me, it's one, can't you do anything right? And then sometimes comparing myself to others. Well, is this as good as so-and-so would do it? So I'll give you a minute. Okay, you can continue this on, I'd like for you, to continue looking at this from the perspective as we go forward. So we're wanting to change that, change these thoughts, and we all know change can be challenging. But do you want the negativity to keep going? And the answer to that, I would think for all of us, I know it is for me, is no. But what do? We want to get out of our comfort zone. And I don't know of a single person in this group that's mediocre. So I know we all stretch in different ways to accomplish many things. So we want to get out of our comfort zone of negative thinking. So one of the ways to do that, of course, is when you catch yourself in some of that negative thinking, one of the ways to resolve it is just find something to laugh about. And I love this little guy, and you can imagine what his laugh must sound like. So that's one of my fun ones that I like to use. And of course, here again, singing to the choir that in the law of attraction, I am is telling the universe what you want more of. So that's another thing about that negative thinking is catching yourself and being able to transform that. So our step 3 is change the negative to a believable positive. I'm all about affirmations, but one of the things I've found is if I can't really believe it, I have a hard time saying it. So I like to help people create a statement, an affirmation that will help them be able to believe it. I had the opportunity a few years ago to give a series of workshops for Pace Center for girls. And for those who may not be aware, it's a school that's funded not only by your school system, but private donations to help girls who are in, who can't maintain regular school. So these are troubled kids. And so one of the things we worked on was the chatter that matters in transforming the negative mind chatter. One of the girls was willing to share what she had come up with, and she kept hearing what her parents were telling her is that she was no good and she would not amount to anything. And you know, I'm horrified every time I hear that, and some of us may have experienced that from our own parents, hopefully not. But in the meantime, we worked together to help her transform that. And I honestly do not remember exactly what we said because I didn't record any of this. But she wrote something like, I am moving in the direction of success. I will be successful in my life. And that was believable for her. And so I had them write it down on 3x5 cards. And then the next month when I went back for the next session, I asked if they had used their affirmations. And she was more proactive than the others in the group. And she said, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I had to go to court with my parents, and they were telling me, you'll never amount to anything. You're never going anywhere in your life. And she said, yes, I will. I am moving in the direction of success. I am going to be successful in my life. Well, needless to say, that brought me to tears. And just to be able to touch one person, to be able to help her realize that she can make that change. So what I want y'all to do at this point is take one of those statements and see about changing that into something positive that you can believe. Okay, so if you'd like, who's willing to share what they had before, what they've transformed? And you know, we are in a safe place so that we can not be judged and be able to support each other. So, and if you're having a struggle, hey, well, we've got a few minutes to help brainstorm. So feel free to jump in. Mary Beth.
You know, I've worked really hard on working on the negative. This is a wonderful presentation. Let me say that first. Thank you. I've worked so hard, probably since when I got sober back in '81. I would wake up in the mirror and I'd start having arguments with people as I was in the morning, you know. I'm like, what the hell? But a lot of it's personal stuff, a lot less. But here's the one that keeps sticking with me is this world isn't going to survive. And that's a scary one for me. And I know, you know, Debbie, you talk about going to Lebanon, but I get it more personally now, you know. It's coming closer to home. And so I'm saying this world is always moving towards enlightenment. Creator does all things well. And I'm going to keep that one because that's a better place to be.
It is.
And I really need it right now.
Exactly. And as we know from the law of attraction, the more we get angry and think about what the negative part of what's going on, it's hard to rein that in and send love.
Yeah.
It's so hard, but it's one of those things that I caught myself in the awareness of being saying all kinds of ugly things to the computer. I realized that, instead, if I can just send love, that should help transform just a little bit. So thank you, Mary Beth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? I thought I saw Judy Kane's hand. Did I?
Yeah, I frequently underestimate the value of what I have to share with people, because it's stuff that now seems like, well, everybody knows this because I know it, and so I don't, it's like, it doesn't seem like it's got much value to share unless I'm in a specific situation. So it's more about, I've learned that, what I've learned on my journey can benefit others is the new statement.
Good, good. And I can appreciate what your thinking process is. I get in the same thought process about this particular, what we're going through this morning. And I think, but everybody knows that. Everybody talks about it, but no, they don't. So thank you for that. Who else?
Margaret, I would just want to say real quick, and then you have said a couple times in this presentation, I know I'm singing to the choir, and I want to give you some permission to stop saying that, because we all need to hear it.
All right.
I think we've all picked up good nuggets that maybe we didn't know. Yeah, raise hands. Yeah, so keep going, girl. Go ahead, Jennifer.
All right. Thank you for that. And Jennifer.
Okay, I'll share mine, and mine's a little more businessy. Just I'm, starting my business. Well, I've been doing it for a while, but moving my business forward, and I go through the same stuff you probably all do with your marketing and computers. And even though I love to work in that atmosphere, mine is, it's too hard. I'll never get it. I'll never make it work. Wrap it up, I'm out of here. It's like, and then you start the new day, but it's, I don't even know how to change that one, because sometimes it just pushes back,
Okay, who has perhaps a suggestion for Jennifer of what's worked for you?
Man, I can totally relate to that, Jennifer. And Jill lovingly called me out on it, because mine is, I'm just going to get a job. And what I realize is usually I'm hangry or I'm tired. And so
it's often at the end of the day.
Yeah. Give myself permission, like, this is hard, but I can do hard things, and I'm here with a bigger purpose. So put on your big girl panties and let's just do this thing.
I know, you can do hard things. Yeah. Thank you.
That was good. I like that. Anybody else have a suggestion?
Well, one of the things when I have that thought, which, a lot of what I go through is similar to what Jennifer goes through, because we're in the same area, I think I reframe it to, like, I get to learn this to help my clients out. So, I'll tackle, I get to go learn something later today that hopefully will help my clients out. That has me a little stymied at this moment. But, it's like, cool, I get to learn something new.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I start to feel a little guilty. Just sitting around learning stuff all day. It's fun, That's a really good
thing. Back, and always everything I learn and go investigate ends up coming back, and I can help somebody else. And then
yeah, that's great.
Is that helpful, Jennifer?
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
Anybody else? Kelly.
In the process of working through getting into Instagram more, I struggle with the fact that I don't usually take a lot of pictures, and I don't know what to put in stories. And I beat myself up with, you're not very creative. Look at all these other creative stories people put in there. And so I'm changing it around to, I'm flexing my creative muscle and becoming more comfortable using it.
I like that.
It's very
and that range, I think, speaks to many of us every time we're learning something new. And yeah, there's that resistance, and I'm one of those on stories. And I got to go back and watch the video again and look at my notes in order to do a better job of that. So good for you. Good for you. All right. Let me go back. If anybody else going to share one more thing before I pop on back? Nancy.
So I've been having this feeling for a long time, but it's really in my face these days, that my home is embarrassing. That's really what I tell myself. Small space, can never keep it picked up. There I go. I can never do it. So what and I just got this message from my coach that, hey, how you see your space and how you talk about it is how you're talking about yourself. I'm like, I'm embarrassing? No. So with your encouragement, I'm going to start saying my home is becoming a haven of light, love, and beauty.
Good.
Make it happen.
And pretty soon you'll be saying, my home is a haven. And you could probably say that now and as one of the things that I've learned is taking those extra 5 minutes here and there and put the timer on my clock, on my phone to just go file. That's one of mine that I don't like to do, that creates discord. But things like that, and so I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I can't wait to hear you say that one. So pop back over here. So thank you very much for sharing your stories and your challenges there and how you're transforming them. And if anybody has further challenges with that, reach out to me and we'll work on it. So the fourth step, of course, is to practice this every day, and or especially every time that this negative thought pops up, so that you can keep that momentum going. And one of the things we want to do is have no negative self-talk, no negative body image talk, no excuses allowed here. So if you need that sign, message me and I'll send you the picture. So one of the things that happens often to all of us, or sometimes to all of us, is we get that crazy loop going on in our head. So how do we rein that one in? A couple of times I've just yelled at myself and said, stop it, stop it, stop it. That's because I work from home and mostly here by myself, so I can yell. But in the meantime, when you can't, it's take a deep breath and focus in on your heart. That heart breath process is so good because it takes you out of your head and puts you in your heart. And when you're in your heart, you're not in your head where all the negative stuff happens. So if you do that at least 3 breaths, focused in on your heart, and then think of one thing for which you're grateful in your life. And I can tell you, at that point, you're out of that negative loop. And if you catch yourself again in that negative loop, do it again. It's about being aware and then now having steps that you can implement to catch yourself and change it. So with that today, when we can share this information with people, and feel free to share it with those you love and care about and friends, and know that as we each take a moment to transform those thoughts, we are putting out positive energy into the world. And as Mary Beth said it so well, we all need it right now. So yes, you are special. And so hopefully you'll take this out into the world. And one of the things I also want to remind you is, no matter whether it's in your head, comes out of your mouth, your chatter matters. And so I want to thank you again for being here today and sharing. And I do speak on this topic with other organizations virtually and in person. So any referrals would be lovely. And I want to thank you for those of you who purchased my books. I greatly appreciate it. And you touched my heart with that. But these are the sweet faces that keep me going. These are my grandchildren. And they range from 16, she's the 16, and Jill, she's a new driver in your area. So watch out for Little White Bug. So, and this is Veronica James. She's the newest one, and James is named after my dad. So that made me very special. So thank you again.
Wonderful job. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. We have just a couple minutes for any questions. I know we're going to do announcements, and I know we all tend to thank our speaker then as well. But does anybody have anything, any questions that they want to ask Margaret? Comments? Go ahead, Debbie.
Just want to say thank you, Margaret. That was really beautiful, and it was a great way to start a Friday, really getting very centered and thinking about our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I have someone once mentioned to me that physically when you're in your head, you're in your reptilian brain, and a way to actually get out of your reptilian brain is to tap your forehead and say the word pain, 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 because it flips you out of your reptilian brain to your logical brain, and then you can then start to do your deep breathing. But it's actually physically a way to just like almost do an interrupt. It was really cool. It works beautifully.
You said tap, and Nancy's eyes went.
Right? Great tapping point, third eye, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Love that. Love that.
Maybe it was you, Nancy, that told me that. I don't know.
I didn't talk about the reptilian brain, but I think it's a great technique. I'm swiping it, Debbie. Thank you.
Why use the word pain? Is there a reason for using that particular word?
Because when you're talking negatively to yourself or you're in that negative thought, it's actually very painful. And so by naming it, then you can attach, you get out of the reptilian brain and into the logical brain.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and it really works. My son in particular uses it.
Nice. Good for him.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mary Beth, it's tapping, not.
I noticed that big
You caught me. I was just thinking I've done this, and not. But you're right.
Be gentle on yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I love it. I love this group. Any other thoughts from Margaret? I know we're going to go through it. So let's do Susan and then Nancy. Susan and Janice and Nancy.
Yeah, she got unshy. Margaret, great presentation. That negative self-talk has been something that I have had to work on for years, and it's a work in progress. When you talked about being in your head and the deep breaths, that is just an amazing technique, because literally you can feel yourself drop from your head to your heart. There's an actual feeling that goes along that, and I've done that before, and it's just amazing. Hasn't solved my negative self-talk all the way, but it is a great technique.
Thank you.
Fabulous presentation. I have times with my negative self-talk, I think, I'm not going to speak up. No one wants to hear what I have to say. You know what? And then you have to realize that everyone has something of value to say, including me. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And that heart breath process comes from the Institute of Heart Math. They've researched it, and there's one other step that you can take that I didn't go into. We can do a whole program on that one day about relieving the stress. But it's definitely well researched. But just getting out of your head and into your heart solves a lot of problems.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Then Nancy, and then we'll do announcements.
Margaret, that was wonderful. And I'm in the biz with my clients. I'm always working on them, letting go of I don't usually call it negative self-talk, but that's what's coming up. And I've worked so hard on it, and I still forget that I'm doing it. This is such a great reminder and such a great process. So I just want to encourage you to go talk to the choir. The choir needs this too. We really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. I know, Margaret, more people probably chime in as we go around the Zoom room. But now we'll switch over to announcements, chance to shout out, tell us what you're promoting, what you need help with. We're all here to support each other, as we know. So I'm going to start at the bottom corner and then work my way back up. So Susan Shelton, you will kick us off, please.
Well, my big announcement would be I'm headed to convention next week. I understand there's some amazing products that they are going to be announcing. They've teased us with. So I'm really excited. I won't be on the call next week, but when I return, I'm really excited because I think there'll be more ways that I'll be able to help people through good quality nutritional supplements and products. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan.
Good week.
Yay.
Yay. And I'm glad to know that Zoom works down here. I wasn't sure that it was going to work on
It's great. You
this
haven't
on my internet here. So
yeah, it works great. All right, we do Nancy, then Debbie.
Okay. I've already said my thank you, and I'll say it again. Thank you, Margaret. And Susan, while you're down there, check and see if there are any great children's vitamins with D. My ask, I guess, is I'm doing live Facebook Lives on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern on just on everything tapping. And I've done 3 so far. I haven't collapsed in a puddle on the ground, so I think I'm going to keep doing them. So if you know of anyone who's just curious, just wants to know, I'm not like selling anything. I'm just talking about what tapping is and how to use it and stuff like that, which I think people have been very interested in. So send them my way. So that's my.
And it's okay if you sell something, by the way.
I know, and it's always sort of in there that I know this stuff. If you want to use it, and you can come to me, but it's on my personal Facebook page for one thing.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. You're allowed then. I give you permission. What did you need it? Debbie, then Mary Beth.
Good morning, everyone. I am just happy to be here. I'm really sorry that I missed Kelly last week, so I actually have it on my to-do list this weekend to listen while I'm at the beach, because I'm heading right after this for my little mini break, and I am so looking forward to it. So no particular thing other than, again, Margaret, always perfect timing. The choir does need to have your hymnal, and so please always feel free to share it without apology. So thank you again.
Thank you. Mary Beth, then Hannah.
So, yeah, Margaret, thank you again. My ask this week, I actually have noticed I have thoughts around that, and I'll share them in a safe place. I opened up my registration for my UConnect class, and the good news is one person has signed up. Yay! But then it's crickets. And so my heads go, my negative self-chatter is like, oh shit, you've blown it. Nobody wants to join. I'm just telling you guys, this is what's happening right now too, and it's embarrassing because I know better.
Visualize those clients signing up.
I can feel them out there, and still the head's coming in. Thank you for the visualization. Yes, the tapping. You're a great group. All right, I got my marching orders, even though I'm in the Navy and didn't march any more than I had to when I was in the Navy. But I am going to put a link there. I'm giving the best price through Monday, so if you know anybody who's really kind of thinking about it and they want to get real and get it done, I'd love to have them in the class. If you'd share that link with them, I'd be so grateful. And I will promise to do my positive stuff and my tapping. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Yeah, make sure you share that link. I know many of us have been through your course and can vouch for your awesomeness. Hannah, then Kelly.
Thank you, Margaret. It was a great presentation and a great reminder. And I was thinking about some things that I told myself some years ago that I would never, ever be able to do. And one of them was to be in a network with English-speaking people. So one can go the step by step and lose the fear. So I think I'm very comfortable in this network now, and when I speak badly to myself, I try to remember things like that you have actually done some things. And I don't have any announcements. I'm still working on my website. It's very exciting. I've been talking to a photographer this week, and I think it's going to be a very good photo shoot. And beside that, I'm always working and wanting clients that realizes the importance of how their businesses look, and that they reflect the value that all of you are bringing to your clients. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your
And thank you for the cat.
The cats today have been very much, they apparently want to network. I just going to have to get them a little business and off they go. Kelly, then Judy King.
Maybe you need to put up cat fences when you're on your computer like this. Your blooper with Jane sitting in the middle and coming around the side was hilarious.
I love that, though. I got to tell you, it's
My life, it is what it is.
It's just like a toddler. Oh my goodness, you know, your kids. What are you doing, Mom? What can I see? You know.
Yes.
Thank you, Margaret, for that wonderful reminder, because every choir has to practice and tune up and, you know, work through those flat and sharp notes and things. So yeah, this is something, but having that process, knowing what to do with that negative thought when you get it is really important. So thank you so much. And like Hannah, I really appreciate this group. You know, you guys are worth getting up early for.
Don't forget, Kelly's an hour back from us in the Eastern Time. So
yeah, I'm not as early as Nancy, but it's early. I think my ask is I'm starting to explore ways to offer the Quench the Fire program on kind of a year-round basis. I'm not sure how to make it necessarily evergreen, but if someone is curious about it, didn't get in when we did the official class in July, I would love to explore it with you and see, you know, have your help to test how to do it on a one-to-one basis, because I think it's effective. I think it's made a big difference for those that were in the class, and I want to offer it to free other people from the challenges.
Very cool. Thank you, Kelly. Judy, then Connie Jo.
So yes, thank you, Margaret. We all need reminders to clean up those thoughts. So I've got a blog that, particularly when Kelly was talking earlier about flexing the creative muscle. So I've got a blog out there, and that's much thanks to people here. Debbie has helped me get a couple of blog entries out there. I've gotten, you know, attitude advice from Jill with her spiritual marketing. I've gotten a lot of technical help with Susan, and on Monday it's going to go out on Facebook with a template from Jennifer. So it's been kind of a village effort here. But anyway, so there's a blog about being creative, and you know,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, Judy.
Yeah, maybe it would be interesting to somebody.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Thank you, Judy. I will look forward to reading it. Don't forget, this will be in the chat box. So, but if you want, Judy, feel free to put in the Facebook group as well. Sometimes it's just something about it being in our face sometimes helps too. Connie Jo, and then Jennifer.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm so good at helping my kids reframe their negative thoughts and attitudes and utterances, but not so good with myself. So it's a good reminder and like a kick in the pants to stop it. Stop that. So thank you so much. I really need to do better with myself instead of others. But I would, my ask is I would love introduction to solopreneurs who are struggling with the money part of their business. They're feeling overwhelmed, dread about when even thinking about anything to do with money with their business. I would love introduction. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Connie Jo. Jennifer, then Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret. I think we all loved your presentation, but I've been looking forward to it all week, and it's always, it's something humans struggle with, right? It'll constantly be something on your plate to, remind yourself, but it's also nice to hear new tactics. I just loved the idea of an investment. That's brilliant. So thank you for a great talk. And Hannah, that was also very inspirational. Learning another language, I'm sorry, but especially as an adult, that's pretty fantastic. And Nancy, tell us, can you tell me again, it's Monday. I was going to promote it on my page as well.
It's Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m.
Okay.
Pacific.
And just a reminder, you can download that Facebook video and post it other places. Just have to throw that in there for you as the marketer I am. But I am running my content relief package through the end of the month. It's done at the end of August at 15% off, and it's custom content for your blog and your social media. So I hope some of you will take me up on it. And all the great people I've worked with. I'm so excited for you, Judy. It's all come together. That's great. All the pieces are connecting. So thank you so much. It is a fantastic group. Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. Margaret, and then Susan Rose.
Thank you all. Your comments mean so much to me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I have two quick asks. One is any referrals for coaching and or speaking, I would greatly appreciate. And secondly is come over to the Chillpreneurs group on next Wednesday, where I am there the speaker on LinkedIn. We're going to be, for those who resisted LinkedIn last time, come on, we're gonna dive in again. So come on over.
It's a great, I think we had a version of it in here maybe last year. So yes, if you're on LinkedIn, no excuses, go over there and get some training with Margaret. Susan Rose, speaking of Chillpreneur.
Yes. So Margaret, thank you for the great talk and for promoting the Chillpreneurs for me. So all those stones taken care of. This is really great. Yeah, good way to start the day, like everybody else said. So my ask, and talking about like pushing through your negative self-talk on this, is that I'm looking for more speaking opportunities. I did a workshop around my content planner on Monday that was very successful. I was really excited about it. And I just want to be doing more of that because it was good and it was fun and it was helpful. So both virtual and local opportunities. So especially my local ladies, if you have any groups that are, business oriented and you think that something like this would be helpful to the members, I'm very excited about that. So that's my
Very cool. Congratulations on that, Susan.
Thanks. Yeah, it was great.
Yay. Good for you. I've been using your content planner, by the way. So thank you very much. Yes. Kelly had a great question, Susan, before I toss it back to me. You want to go in the chat box? Do you see it?
Yeah, so I think it will be a webinar at some point right now. I want to do it a couple more times live, but yeah, a lot of people have been asking for a webinar around it. The thing I get to do today is figure out how to get my website for dedicated content planner website going, and that's when I'll do the whole webinar funnel.
Oh, cool.
Everything around it. So that will be coming at some point.
To be
perfect action. That's what I'm working on around all of this.
Awesome. Good for you. Good steps. Well, I'll go last. Just a reminder, next week, it's our favorite virtual coffee dates. Yay! Think about who you can invite. If each of us brings one new person, they get to experience the wonderfulness. We get to meet new people, new referral partners, and then I can invite them to our open house on September 11th, and maybe they'll join. See how that all kind of. So I will get the event page up. I might actually get it up this weekend. But I always announce it in the Facebook group, so we can share that. Thank you for those of you who keep sharing our event pages. Sometimes I see it on my feed, and this makes me so hard. This makes me feel good. So thank you. So we'll do virtual coffee dates next week. Sorry if you're going to miss it, Susan, but we will have you in spirit. Anything else? I think that's it. I don't really have I'm in a quiet period of my business. I'm not promoting anything in the month of August. Just kind of it's kind of nice because I'm going to be ramping it back up in September. So more about that later. So that's it from over here. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you, Margaret, again for your lovely presentation. Come to Susan's chapter on Wednesday and see Margaret again. Margaret everywhere.
I am. I'm
You're going to have to change your shirt, though. That's our only requirement.
I will. I'll be sitting here all day, but in the meantime, I'll change my shirt.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you again, everyone. I greatly appreciate it.